Hi, I'm Simon with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we're going to show you how to repair your appliance. Are you ready? Remember, anytime you work on your appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there is no chance of electrocution. In this video, we'll show you how to replace the defrost heater assembly in a Samsung refrigerator. It's going to be a very easy repair. Should only take a few minutes to show you how to do it. For the job, we're going to need a Phillips and a flathead screwdrivers, a big hook, a pair of pliers, side cutters, and some aluminum tape. When you open up the package, you're going to get a new defrost heater assembly. The defrost heater is designed to melt the frost of the evaporator coil during the defrost cycle. When it's energized by the main control board, it consists of the heater itself and the defrost thermostat. If both the freezer and the fresh food compartments are not as cold as they used to be and there is snow buildup on the rear freezer wall, it's time to check the defrost heater assembly and replace it if needed. Let's open the freezer door. Slightly lift up on the ice bucket and pull it out. Now, using the Phillips screwdriver, we're going to take out two Phillips screws here on the top that holds the ice maker. So next, pull out the ice maker to free it from the rear clips. Drop it down slowly, and then we can disconnect this plug by pressing the locking tab. And now we can remove the ice maker. Next, we need to remove the single Phillips screw here at the top of the divider. Now we can pull out the divider. We need to remove this shelf. Two screws, one on each side. We're going to use a Phillips screwdriver. Slide the shelf with the auger motor out. Disconnect the plug at the back, push the locking tab and pull it out. And now we can remove the shelf out of the fridge. Next, we're going to remove all the shelves from the freezer. Pull and lift. Pull and lift. Next, we're going to use a flathead screwdriver to pop open those two caps, which hides screws behind them. And now, using the Phillips screwdriver, we're going to remove those two Phillips screws on the top of the lower panel. Please note that the two screws that came out from those top holes are not painted white on the heads, and it's a little longer than the rest of the screws. Now we can remove the rest of the screws that holds that bottom cover panel. To remove the evaporator cover panel, we're going to grab it at the bottom here and just pull it out to release the clips. And now we're going to take out those three Phillips screws that holds the top cover panel. Pay attention to these tiny arrows around the perimeter of the cover. They indicate where the locking clips are located behind the panel. So we are going to use a hook to undo the clips behind the panel. You don't have to get exactly the same tool, as long as you will have something that is bent 90 degrees and won't break the plastic. Preferably it would be a little bit flatter than the hook, but I couldn't find anything in my toolbox. If you do, good luck. And let's insert the hook underneath the panel, right against the arrow. Then press the panel about 2 inches away from the edge, pressing and pull the hook. And then we're going to continue on to the second arrow and do the same thing. Pull out. Press and pull. And the panel comes out. Next, we need to remove the inner cover panel. Using the Phillips screwdriver, take out 2 Phillips screws on the center line that holds the panel. And that's 2. Note this is another couple of screws that are a little longer than the other ones, and it's not painted. So don't mix them up. So now we're going to use the flathead screwdriver and push inwards the lightning clips around the perimeter. Don't pull it yet. We need to disconnect the 2 plugs on the top over there. Take a picture of the connection. Push in the tabs on the side of the plugs and disconnect them. And now we can remove the inner panel. We are looking at the evaporator assembly. Push the sides in and remove the cover box. Press down the 3 tabs on the side and disconnect the plug. Now we're going to pull out the evaporator. Keep in mind, it's an aluminum tubing filled with a freon. If you break it, the main expense will follow. To replace the evaporator coil, you will have to hire a professional technician. So, with this in mind, let's slowly pull the evaporator out. Using the pliers, grab the bottom of the heat shield in one of the corners and pull it out. And then repeat it on the opposite side. And do it until this will come out completely. Continue pulling out the evaporator in the center. And on the top. We're slowly bending that coils, very careful. Alright, we're going to need to bend this tube a little bit out. It's a copper tube, so we can bend it without being afraid of destroying the whole evaporator. So, but still be very careful. So just pull it out a little bit. Pull it up. And now we can pull the evaporator out. Alright, so it's far enough so we can remove this foam. Next, using the flathead screwdriver, we're going to peel off the aluminum foil, or if you can't peel it off, just cut it off. It has a double layer. And then we do the same thing in the back. Just slide the screwdriver and cut the foil. Now we can remove that foam insulation. Now we're going to pull that heat shield and evaporator out at the bottom. Carefully, don't just drop it down. And now we can go to the left and take off this foam insulation. Okay, I'm going to use a flat blade screwdriver to peel off the aluminum foil. I'm going to cut it. Alright. Carefully. Remember, it's hangs on that aluminum tubing, so we're going to reach in the back there and slice that aluminum tape off. Alright, now we're going to remove that foam insulation. So now we're going to free the plug out of this bracket. So open the tabs and pull out the first plug, and I'm going to slide it out. I'm going to turn it over and undo these two clips. And now we can get to the middle one. Alright. So remember, the blue one, the double brown one, and double red one. So that's the order. Now we're going to take this clip off, just squeeze this two bottom legs and open that thing. Alright, so put it aside. Alright, now we'll have these freed. This is our heater wiring. So next we're going to take off the defrost thermostat. Simply pry it off with a flat blade screwdriver. And we can free the harness. Again, use the flat blade screwdriver. And it looks like we're gonna just peel that aluminum foil off. That's the easiest way. Okay, so free the wire harness. There's another aluminum tape here on the side. And that's taken off. I use the flat blade screwdriver to peel it off. Now we need to use the pliers to open the tabs. Alright, so that's one at the bottom here on the left. And one here at the bottom on the right. And we've got another one above it. I'm going to bend this a little bit open so we have an easy access. Be careful, do not cut yourself. So we got one here. There's a few here. I'm going to use just a flat blade screwdriver. And on the opposite side, Same thing, we're going to bend it open. And bend these two tabs here. This one we need to use the pliers. And then we can use the flathead screwdriver to free that heater. And now we're going to work out around the evaporator, pulling out the heater. At this point, we have only two ways of removing the old heater from the evaporator. We either cut the wire and then take it out, or we cut the tubing and take the wire untouched. So I choose cutting the wire. Side cutters, and it's free. All right, now we can remove the old defrost heater assembly. This is the old defrost heater assembly next to the new one. If you don't have this part, you can get it from appliancepartspros.com. All right, now I'm going to bring in a new defrost heater assembly. Please note that the defrost thermostat is on the left. Place it down there. Route it in. Okay, right. Route it inside the heat shield between the coils. Okay, right and left. And we can install the defrost thermostat, placing these two tabs into the two holes and press it in. That's it, it's locked. Now we're going to the bottom, placing the heater between the tubes here. I'm gonna bend this tab on the left. Then we have the same tab on the right. We're gonna bend it close so that will hold the heater in the position. And now we're gonna use the pliers and place the heater at the bottom. Oh, okay, right there. And right there. Okay, this tape is still there, so we can use it. that will hold the wires on the side here. We're going to put some tape on that harness on the right side. Alright, and now the time to install the foam insulation. I'm going to put the foam insulation on. We're going to use some aluminum tape to attach it. Yeah, okay. One side would be enough because it would be held by the plastic lining at the back. So then we're going to go to the right and place the foam insulation on the right side. And again, the aluminum tape, I used the old one. Then we're going to go down and we're going to bend back in the heat shield. And then on the right, same thing. Careful, don't cut yourself. All right, now we're going to install it into the lining. So I'm going to push back the evaporator, lift it up a little bit slightly, and push it back in. Push the bottom first, let it go in all the way. And then we're going to bend this copper tube in a little bit because we bent it out. Go easy on it. Don't get excited. And now we can push in the evaporator. Alright, next thing is we're going to put this clamp on. Squeeze these two legs, open that, place two wires in and lock it. Then we're going to clip it on onto this copper line here. Actually, we're going to move it a little bit forward and place it on this line. That would be better, like this, so we can reach to the plug. And now we're going to plug in these 3 connectors. So remember, we have the blue, the brown in the middle, and the red. So they are different, so they're not going to go in other way. So first, the bottom one would be a double blue wire plug. Then in the middle, we're going to put this new defrost heater plug. And the top one is a double red, which is a thermal fuse. If you recall, there was a bracket that held the 3 plugs together. But as you can see, if you don't want to, there's no need to use it. All right, we're ready for installation of the covers. First, bend the wires down, and then we're going to install the cover box. See, the opening is at the bottom. All right, pay attention. The big plug goes in the back, and the smaller plug goes in front. All right, let's rig the panel in and install the plugs. All right, now we can lift it up. So lock the top clip in, and then push the rest of the side clips. And now we can secure the inner panel with the 2 Phillips screws on the center line. Remember, those screws are a little longer and it's not painted. Right now the upper panel can go back in. This is the clips we're talking about around the panel. So we're gonna start with putting it in. The 2 top goes first, and then we just press the sides. As simple as that. Secure the panel with the 3 Phillips screws. Now we're going to install the bottom evaporator cover panel. Slide it in and push it in to lock the tabs on the side. And now, using the Phillips screwdriver, now we can secure it with the screws. Do not over tighten them. They're going to the plastic tubing, so be careful. And now we can install the top screws. If you remember, they are a little longer and they're not painted white. Now we can install the caps back in. We're now going to install all the shelves back in. And the last one. All right, bring in the shelf. Plug it in at the back, and then install the shelf on the rail. And now we can secure the shelf with the 2 Phillips screws, one on each side. We can put the divider back in now. Slide it on the rails on the bottom so it will lock in. And then we can install the Phillips screw at the top. Bring the ice maker in. And let's plug the wire plug in on the top. Make sure it locks. Make sure that the wire harness is under the retainer. And next, the 2 brackets over there, one on each side, has to lock over those 2 pins. Push it in to slide over. Now we need to secure the ice maker to the ceiling with the 2 Phillips screws. Alright, sliding in the ice bin in over assembly and close the door. Plug the fridge back in and make sure it's cooling. Thank you for being a part of another successful repair brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. For any of your future appliance repair projects, please check out our other repair videos available on our site, on Facebook, and on YouTube.